Hey everyone, welcome back to Buy or Buy. Today we've got an explainer on the 2020 to 2026 Audi RS Q8. Now on the surface, this is a 591 horsepower flagship that just looks like a really aggressive luxury SUV. But it's actually hiding a pretty fascinating secret. We're going to break down literally every known problem, feature, and the harsh ownership reality of this absolute monster.
All right, let's just make the joke right out of the gate. The RS Q8 is essentially what happens when Audi builds a Lamborghini Urus, rips off the Lambo badge, paints the whole thing Nardo gray, and tells the buyer to save $100,000 and pretend they wanted the subtle one. Seriously, with the Audi starting around $117,500 and the Urus hitting $230,000 for the exact same engine, that $112,500 difference is quite literally just the cost of a charging bull badge and a louder exhaust valve.
So, here is our quick agenda for today's explainer. We're going to cover the Bratislava bloodline, the flagship powertrain, those critical V8 engine flaws, chassis and electronic failures, the super SUV competition, and finally wrap it up with our buy or buy verdict.
Okay, starting with Section 1, the Bratislava bloodline, a shared pedigree.
We really gotta start with the value proposition here, because what's honestly super fascinating is that the factory in Bratislava, Slovakia, builds 5 different brands of SUV on one single production line. The RS Q8 shares its core MLB Evo architecture and that absolute powerhouse EA825 4.0-liter twin-turbo V8 engine with cars that cost twice as much. So mechanically speaking, you are basically buying a Bentley Bentayga V8, a Porsche Cayenne Turbo, an Audi RS6 Avant, and a Lamborghini Urus, all hiding inside a sleek Audi shell. Moving right along to Section 2, flagship powertrain and performance, the most powerful Audi. Let's talk about how this hardware turns into an absolute rocket on the road. The standard 2020 to 2024 RS Q8 pushed a massive 591 horsepower. But if you look at the 2025 and 2026 RS Q8 performance trim, that number jumped to 631 horsepower. Just let that sink in for a second. That officially makes it the most powerful internal combustion engine Audi has ever sold to the public.
And the engineering packed into this thing is just staggering. That VA uses a 48-volt mild hybrid system and cylinder-on-demand tech that actually shuts it down to 4 cylinders under light load. It's paired with this incredibly smooth ZF 8-speed automatic transmission, plus Quattro all-wheel drive with an active rear differential that genuinely shifts power side to side. At low speeds, you get all-wheel steering that literally tightens the turning circle by 3 whole feet. Oh, and if you snag that performance trim, the electromechanical active anti-roll bars completely eliminate body lean in corners. It's like it just casually ignores the laws of physics.
And here's what all that crazy tech actually achieves in the real world. A 0 to 60 time of 3.4 seconds and a top speed of 190 miles per hour if you get the Dynamic Package Plus. Oh, and it famously set the 2019 Nurburgring SUV production lap record at an unbelievable 7 minutes and 42.2 seconds.
But yeah, Section 3, critical V8 engine flaws, the RS tax.
Right, so that mind-blowing performance, it comes with a pretty massive catch. When you compare that bargain purchase price to the wear items, you get a grueling reality check on what it actually takes to keep this 4.0-liter V8 running. Because it's direct injected, fuel doesn't wash the intake valves. That means you're absolutely going to need a professional walnut blasting service between 60 and 90,000 miles. That's about $1,200 to $2,500. But the really terrifying one is the cylinder-on-demand system. The lifters can fail, causing a rough idle and a ticking sound. Ignore that, and it can cause catastrophic camshaft damage, leaving you with a repair bill hitting $7,500. Add in high-pressure fuel pump failures running over $3,000, and PCV valve failures, yeah, it adds up fast.
And then there's the timing chain. If you're looking at early 2020 or 2021 builds, you really need to check the service history for Audi Technical Service Bulletin 2059-29. These early engines suffered from premature timing chain tensioner wear. I mean, you kind of have to laugh at Audi's brilliant engineering logic here. They built a 591 horsepower V8 super SUV and basically said, hey, whatever you do, do not change the timing chain design we used in cars with half the power. If that fails out of warranty, you're looking at a $4,500 fix.
Oh, and a quick heads up, don't panic if your dashboard is constantly screaming that you're low on oil. Seriously, Audi genuinely calls burning through a quart of oil every 1,500 to 2,500 miles completely normal operating behavior for the EA825. Just keep a quart in the trunk, guys.
All right, Section 4, chassis and electronic failures, heavy-hitting bills.
Stepping outside the engine bay, look, managing 5,500 pounds while pulling 1G into a hairpin is going to tear up a chassis. If your RS Q8 has the Dynamic Package Plus, or it's the newer performance trim, it comes with these massive carbon ceramic brakes. See that astronomical number right there? $18,000. That is the replacement cost per axle if you actually track the car and burn through the rotors, because 5,500 pounds generates way more heat than those rotors can dissipate. And honestly, even the standard steel brake setups will run you up to $7,500 per axle.
The sheer physics of this beast will chew through its massive 22 or 23-inch tires in just 12,000 to 18,000 miles. That's up to $4,500 a set. And that heavy curb weight absolutely abuses the standard air suspension. The rubber struts leak as they age, costing up to $2,800 per strut. When they leak, the compressor overworks and burns out. Add another $3,800. Oh, and if the electronic actuator for the all-wheel steering goes, that's another $6,500 just waiting for you. Moving inside the cabin, it's gorgeous for sure, but you're dealing with these universally criticized dual touchscreen capacitive MMI controls that just love to freeze, lag, or randomly reboot. The car also draws heavy standby power, which leads to cascading 12-volt battery failures. The Bang & Olufsen 3D Premium amp can overheat and fail, killing your music and your wallet to the tune of $4,500. And like so many VW Group products, the massive panoramic sunroof is prone to drainage leaks that can soak your cabin and rack up a $3,500 repair bill.
So with all this power, the massive weight, and the rolling resistance, you might naturally be wondering about fuel economy and its environmental footprint, right?
Well, let's just say the RS Q8's environmental footprint is strictly 591 horsepower of progress. It demands premium fuel and gives you a rather dismal 14 miles per gallon in the city and maybe 20 on the highway. You are definitely going to be on a first-name basis with the guy at your local gas station.
Okay, Section 5, the Super SUV competition. Let's do a fair comparison.
To be completely fair here, we can't just fixate on the repair bills, because when this car works, it is brilliant. The interior is genuinely luxurious, and that B&O sound system is absolute reference grade. And when you stack it up against the competition, the RS Q8 holds its own remarkably well. It gives you way better ride refinement than the aggressively stiff BMW X5M. It's slightly faster and sharper than the Mercedes GLE 63S. It's way more reliable than the Aston Martin DBX 707. And again, you get a massive six-figure discount compared to the Lamborghini Urus, despite sharing its heart. Really, the only true thorn in its side is its own corporate sibling, the Porsche Cayenne Turbo GT, which is lighter and sharper for roughly similar money.
Which brings us to Section 6, the buy or buy verdict.
All right, after breaking down this whole bargain supercar paradox, the astonishing engineering, and those honestly terrifying repair bills, our verdict for the Audi RS Q8 is a maybe. We rarely give a maybe on this channel, but you really have to match this verdict to the exact type of buyer you are. It's exceptional, record-breaking engineering, absolutely, but it is wrapped up in some massively expensive ownership realities.
Here's the pragmatic reality of it. Buying a brand new 2025 performance model at nearly $140,000, that's really hard to recommend when the Porsche Cayenne Turbo GT exists for similar money, or when the Urus feels just so much more special for that premium bracket. But a used 2020 or 2021 model, sitting fully depreciated at $65,000 to $85,000 with documented service records, recent walnut blasting, completed timing chain TSBs, and a fresh air suspension compressor, guys, that is a legitimate value and honestly, the steal of the century.
So I'm going to leave you with this final thought to ponder as you scroll through those used car ads. Is the everyday thrill of driving a half-price Lamborghini really worth the constant threat of an $18,000 brake job waiting around the next corner? Are you ready to pay the RS tax to own one of the greatest performance SUVs ever made? Let us know what you think. Thanks for joining us for this explainer, and we'll see you on the next one.